Hello there everybody, this is Sky6 Alpha, and today I'm going to bring you some Rome 2 Total War multiplayer battles. Did not want to click on that. Either way, I just want to show you the real quick setup here. So, I am playing as the Numidians. I know they have their own faction name, but I cannot remember it. So I have brought here 7 units of slave infantry, which are 140 gold a pop. I have 6 units of desert legionnaires, which are 700 gold a pop, equal to Roman legionnaires, like 1 for 1. Also, that was my phone, and I want my phone to be quiet right now. I have also brought some elite skirmish cavs, so Numidian noble cavalry. Look at that melee attack. It is absolutely beefy. And also some armored Numidian cavalry, which is a more skirmish cav that is still very good in melee combat. And I have a heavy ballista. There are no rules for this one. And now, here's where I get screwed. So I brought, in my army, I brought a normal ballista. So this is around 1,600 gold a pop. But the enemy brought a giant ballista. And the giant ballista outranges my ballista, and that means I'm going to be absolutely screwed. So I am playing a Roman. I'm going to fast forward here. And playing a Roman character is just disconcerting. Now what he has brought is 3 units of auxiliary Numidian cavalry. Now obviously my nobles and my armored Numidian cavalry and Numidian noble cavalry will absolutely decimate these auxiliaries. But in a skirmish fight we do the same amount of range damage. Even though I do have more armor, I would still much prefer to get them into a melee engagement. So I'm going to put 2 units of slave infantry here. Also, I do have some spike traps, which I accidentally enabled with my own men, which is definitely not what you want to do. Can you see the bodies in there? No, you cannot. Alright, so we're going to be advancing forward. We're fast forwarding here. We're just doing some little some positioning, seeing what happens. Is he still shooting at me? Yes, he is. So he's going to come forward here. Now I'm going to be shooting at his cav. Everything's going well. I'm going to put this into triple speed for a moment. Now here's where start starts getting interesting. Here's where oh my gosh, here's where stuff starts getting interesting. He left this war elephant all over here, all by its lonesome, which by far is the most expensive unit on the field, besides my artillery piece. Although, yeah, I think my artillery piece might be a little more expensive, but obviously I've just kind of given up on protecting that. So I want that guy dead. Right now I'm doing some focus fire, I believe. Maybe I might be doing some I'm firing the artillery piece myself, but as soon as I notice what I'm doing wrong, they're just going to shoot at me with all their arrows, and considering I've lost this, I'm not even worried about it. I'm not too concerned about losing it. And these are once again slave infantry that are just meat shield units that I brought along. Now here I finally do it. If the AI had any micro, he would have seen. Yeah, he's he activates the frenzy charger. What is it called? Stampede? Stampede, right? One moment. Stampede. What is it? Stampede, yes. Alright, good. He activates Stampede, wants to run me over. So here, my guys are on skirmish mode, but apparently if they're berserk, my unit doesn't know how to react and just gets caught, which is just... Either way, I killed 4 elephants already out of 12, and we're going to keep shooting at them. They are going to go down 1 at a time, or 2 at a time in that case. And the next volley should kill most of them to my knowledge. And there you go. That's going to be game over. So what I'm doing over here, I'm repositioning my skirmish cav. I'm also shooting my artillery piece into the side of his horse archers, or horse skirmishers, which have taken a decent amount of damage, lost 14 soldiers overall, 14 horsemen, whatever you want to call them, they're all soldiers, either way. So the war elephant, they are dead, and I did use a fair amount of ammo with that, but trust me, that is a trade I want to take. So now I'm going to wipe out his giant ballista, just because they make me angry. And here, he's wanting to get into a melee engagement with me, which I cannot blame him. If we look at his front line, he has legionnaires, which... He has how many? 1, 2, 3. He has 6 legionnaires and 6 legionnaires and 2 histati, along with some crappy vigils. The thing is, the vigils, I do believe, will be able to beat my slave infantry. Maybe not. Maybe they won't be able to beat my slave infantry. Their histati definitely can beat my slave infantry, and their legionnaires, it would be a fair melee engagement. Now, if you know anything about war games, you never want a fair engagement. A fair engagement is the last thing you want. Did I lose anybody in that fight? No, I did not. So we are going to run away and avoid this confrontation as much as possible. We want to use our skirmish cavalry advantage. We want to take out their cavalry because in a front engagement, their slave infantry, my slave infantry will get destroyed. And remember, they have foot archers. Now these foot archers can put out a lot of damn. Why do they have 16 missile damage? What? What? You're joking. Oh, are they using fire arrows? They have to be using fire arrows. There's no other way. Yeah, they have to be using fire arrows. There's no other way they do 16 damage. So here's, I am attempting to spring a trap. I really want to catch these guys in a melee engagement. He's going to be decimating my poor slave infantry, which are going to get just slaughtered. But once again, every javelin that they waste on this 140 gold unit is one less they get to use on my actual more elite Desert Legionnaire troops. So I'm very much okay with that. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to catch them. What I should have done is move this unit right over to here and then just made it a box and closed them in. So they're sadly going to be able to escape because they are less armored. So they're, what are they? Light missile cavalry, and these are heavy. Yeah, both of these are heavy missile cavalry. So I'm not going to be able to catch them. Now I'm going to pull back because I see Hastati, and Hastati have javelins. So right over here, we're just in a really basic setup. I formed my men up against the border because I was really concerned about getting my units just caught. And I would rather be against the border in a melee fight than just in the open getting surrounded. So I'm going to run over here, and once again, this is where they're being dumb. They are using Flaming Shot, which is definitely not what you want to be using. I mean, I understand that for breaking my morale, so maybe that's a good point, but they do a lot less damage, and that lack of damage... Oh, I forgot about that. So right here, I have caught his general in a brief melee engagement. It's definitely not going his way, but his Hastati comes in, and as soon as I see the Hastati, I should try to get out of that engagement. He's going to continue shooting all of my slave infantry units. Oh, wow, that unit does a fair amount of damage, that's for sure. Okay. 10 morale on a weak unit. So I bring in my African Ballista to try to take all the damage of the Hastati, sacrificing them to save my nobles, who have done a fair amount of damage. They have not used any ammo yet in this combat. My general's just kind of sitting off here. I was not really wanting to use him because, well, he's a shock cavalry unit. There's no real thing I want to do with that. So he's going to rush his men up, and he's going to start shooting at my legionnaires, which are the targets he wants to be at. Unfortunately for him... Oh, he switched out of that crap. Yeah, they're going to actually do damage when he impacts. Unfortunately for him, I have some slave infantry units left, and they're going to charge his front line, which he seems to forget, and I get to catch him in melee combat with my, well, melee units. Even though they're cheap melee units, that's the best engagement they're going to get in this entire battle. So now he has some units there. We can see my positioning. I just kind of pull back my legionnaires, and what I'm going to do here is I want these guys dead. I want his general just dead. Because if we kill the general, I mean, in any battle, killing the general is a very good thing. He's going to pull back his archers, but they did lose a decent amount of soldiers from my slave infantry, which is... Wow. They did more work than I thought they did. Maybe that was from something else. So here's where it's going to be bad. He's going to start shooting into my side, and these Numidian noble riders, that is the last place they want to be, is getting shot in the side by this elite, well, not elite skirmish cab, but just skirmish cab. They can do some damage. Like, look how much damage they've done. They've probably been shooting my slave infantry, and that's okay. So I'm going to charge my remaining 37 riders into melee combat with way more riders than I should be putting them into melee combat with. Remember, this is elite noble cavalry, so that definitely gives them a massive edge. Like, realistically, I think if no one else got engaged, I could win this. Although he's going to bring in some units to attack me from the flank, which will do some good, but nonetheless, my units should still do, just mop the floor with them. I really want to get more armored units, noble units, whatever it is. And you see, they are breaking. They are rear charging me, and they still break. These noble cavalry are just my favorite thing in the world. Carthage has them, so that's a giant plus for Carthage. I've been using them a decent amount. So what I'm going to start doing is I want to get out of this position. I'm okay sitting here in Testudo because they can shoot me all they want. And I only have 28 left. They've done some good work, gotten some good kills, but this Hastati, and Vigils are the last thing I want to be in melee combat with this support. Now here's where the enemy makes a mistake. Just because you are retreating, it does not mean you actually have the... It doesn't mean you want to pursue. And this is one of those positions. I have 27 left, and he catches me with 64 and 24. And what's crazy is my unit should be before... Yeah, he is winning decisively. He is not... He would win this engagement without reinforcements. With reinforcements, they're just going to be shattered. So quick tip, if you want to just attack your enemy, if he is retreating, it does not always mean that you are actually winning the battle. So here, we're in a position where I have the cavalry advantage, which means he's gonna press himself up against the edge, use the border. Now, corner camping is a total bitch thing to do. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know, I'll have to check YouTube guidelines. Either way, I'll leave it in, I don't really care. So corner camping is just a real thing. You just don't corner camp. But using the border, I'm not too against the border. I've used it. I see a lot of players who use it. As long as you're literally not just going box, box, box. I mean, if you're not doing a pike box, I don't mind so much, because in this position, I would do the same exact thing. You're screwed. You're gonna use the border to help protect you. It's either a box in the center or a little half, leaving one side open. And as you can see, we're getting towards the end of the battle here. He's going to try to protect his men. It's not going to go his way. He still has ammo, does he? He still has ammo, yeah. So I'm going to finally rush my entire everything into melee. They're going to get some nice javelins off, but I'm just going to charge all my Desert Legionnaires into melee. Except for this unit. He's going to run in here, and he wants to get into these archers as badly as possible. I've told my guys to just start firing at will. Not my best micro for using their ammo efficiently. I kind of wish I could have used it a lot better. That being said, this is the engagement. I don't like his rear guard units, but this is the best engagement I could have. This unit here is going to be throwing into the rear of his legionnaires. We're just going to be screwing them up in general. I could have brought my general into this fight, but sadly I kind of forgot about that. I do have one slave infantry unit, which I could bring in to do something. This noble cavalry really, he's taking a beating. And right here, I'm in a engagement, but he's not directly protecting his men. It's more of a, two sides. I'm here, he's there. So I'm just going to run sideways. I want to get into his slingers to keep them from shooting. Also, they are focus firing, and here's here's a fun little trick here. Run around his unit and then charge. And also, I charge deep, so I am aiming at that unit there, which one unit makes it. One makes it the whole way. And starts fighting legionnaires. Great. So although the Vigils are going to close in on me, and Vigils are not, I mean, they're crappy spear infantry, but they're still spear infantry. I do not want to fight them. They are not going to survive getting attacked by noble cavalry. Not at all. A rear charge from them, it's over. And now their melee line is going to break. I mean, I even have the superiority in melee at this point. So this is going to be... He's going to box up here, which, I mean, there's not really much... There's not much more he could actually do. So now we're going to get a few rear charges. This is just kind of a half charge here. It's still going to be a nice... It's still going to absolutely crush these poor legionnaires. I really want to see how many kills just one of these units could get in the rear of legionnaires, or at least a somewhat elite unit. Yeah, but that's going to be over. We're going to get a rear charge here. One person's going to get there first, but the rest of the horsemen are going to come in, and that is going to be game. And poor Roman player. Normally in this matchup, I really would not think that a Roman player would be able to pull that off. Like, I mean, I would not suspect this faction. Lie. Yeah, I butcher names. I'm terribly sorry about that. But typically, I would not expect them to win. I feel like his biggest issue is he brought that auxiliary war elephant unit, although I did bring my African ballista, which, actually, it did some good work. He should have killed it earlier. He let me shoot into the flank of his units. But if he would have not brought that African war elephant, or if he would have saved it till the late game, which honestly he did not have the cav power to do, but if he would have been able to save that till the late game, he could have easily won this game. But if he wouldn't have brought that and brought an extra 2 units of Legionnaires or some better melee infantry, maybe skip out on those guys because they just killed all my crap units, he could have done better. Either way, that is how you want to beat a enemy that you are not ready to fight in a melee engagement. Run away, pull back, wait till you have the engagement you want, harass him with your cavalry, and then take him out. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Sky6 Alpha signing off. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.